NRL round 12, New Zealand Warriors get it done against the Dolphins. Hard fought battle, so many boys out, but the Warriors got it done. Let's take a look how this one played out. Hey team, welcome back into the Warriorholic. Geez, another brilliant weekend. Nothing better than a week off the back of a win, particularly a hard fought one like that. As you can see by my unfamiliar background here, I'm in Tokyo at the moment. What an experience listening to the game yesterday. Sammy Hewitt and Blake Ashford live on SEN. Managed to pick it up on the Wi-Fi on NZ99 flying over here. Now, I'd hate to think what people around me were thinking. Had my bloody headphones on, I was trying not to scream and shout, fist pumping, the odd, you fucking beauty under my breath. It was a very odd experience. I've never done it before. I would have loved to have seen the game live, been at the game, but it's a pretty unique thing that I think made it even more special. Got to watch the replay on the train into Tokyo after that. Big shout out to Sam Hewitt. Man, he can paint a picture with his words. Watching the replay, it was like I'd already seen it before. Really interesting to sort of experience it for the first time, listening live on the radio instead of the telly. It's been many years since I've done that. But the outcome, shit, how good, how good. Really weird. Also, the plane, it's kind of interesting. The Wi-Fi is good enough for audio, but it's really hard to send anything on social media. And I'd heard a few hints. A whole bunch of people had DM'd me during the day early on saying that Chance was out, and it wasn't actually published anywhere. So I thought, I'm going to share that. Trying to get that up on TikTok and Insta and a couple of others. Absolute nightmare. It took about 40 minutes to upload like a 20-second short. Couldn't even log into YouTube, otherwise I would have put it up on there as well. Then hearing Tane had to drop out as well. Geez, what a rigmarole. But great to see the boys all just slotted in. Really excited for Wila Graham Tulfa. I thought early on he might get the run, whether with a bit of a smoke screen, so it didn't look like it was going to happen for a while, but he got it done, club debut, and absolutely nailed it. So I'm going to jump into this. I really hope you guys can't hear this jackhammer going on. They're demolishing a building behind me, but this technology seems to filter it out. It's bloody hard for me to concentrate when all I can hear is this bang, 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 bang in my ears. So we'll try and get it done. First and foremost, 24-20. The Dolphins coming out with a quick start off the back of an error. Shit, I thought, here we go again. It's probably the one thing we still really need to work on is getting the start better. It reminds me a little bit of a period we had last year where you always seem to be chasing the games. Not good for my blood pressure and probably not good for the boys' bodies either, but the boys turned it around. A couple of good tries before half-time got us back into the game. They would have gone in, feeling full of confidence. And in the end, they managed to close it out. Adam Pompey's kicking being the difference, nailing a couple of great kicks there. After a little bit of an odd start last week, he just had the one and missed. Then handed over the kicking to Tane Tuapicky, but great to see the big fella stepped up and nailed it. I do think he's got a great boot, so good to see him get a bit of confidence back there. So as I said, 24-20, we'll take that. A little bit closer than I would have liked. They really sort of dominated the possession. It's such a way of the NRL these days. It's so hard to swing momentum in one team. Once you get that momentum, you're able to kick from a decent position, get your defense on. It's very hard to turn that momentum. You really need a penalty or a knock on or something to an error to turn the momentum. But we managed to do it. In the end, it ended up being 52 to 48% possession, which is a fair reflection on the game. I think I always felt like we were going to win. Even before we went into the game, even with all that's changed, I just thought we were going to win. I feel like the Dolphins have been living a bit of false hope. Sammy Hewitt, what did he call them? Ladder imposters or something the other day. Because I've played a lot of teams who aren't that high on the ladder themselves. And a lot of teams that just haven't turned up on the day. Whereas I feel like other than the Souths game and the Panthers, we've had to play teams who've just played season best footy against us, which is unfortunate for us. But shit, this weekend is a classic example. The Panthers didn't turn up for us, but shit, they turned up for the Sharks and absolutely handed them one. So very unpredictable competition, but it's great to beat a top 4 team. What do we have there? 86% possession. I'm pretty happy with that, considering it was a bit of a wet weather game. Only 83 for them. They had a few errors the week before, so that was one of the things that gave me a bit of confidence. And also the fact they don't have the biggest pack in the world. It's interesting they moved Kaufusi into the prop position to try and put a little bit of pressure on Paul Roach. Unfortunately for that young man, it sort of worked in a way. He ended up going off injured early on in the game, almost right on the 10-minute mark, just like Egan last week. So, but pretty even game all in all, 4-point win, and we just beat them on the possession and the completion. And similarly here with the attacking stats, all runs, we had more than them, more run meters, more post-contact meters, same amount of line breaks, more tackle breaks. They had quite a bit, 5 extra meters per set, but I think that goes a long way from them getting a couple of long-range tries, maybe, I'm not sure. Kick return meters weren't the biggest for us, but, Dallon's still running for about 200 meters. We're often up around the 300 mark there with Chance, and a faster play of the ball for us this week. Offloads, 7 to 8. This is something that I like, the fact that we're starting to get those going. Offloading at the right times, getting that second phase play. I think that's really where we start to flourish. I think that was what we looked best. Our structured attack was a little bit clunky at times, but shit, our additive footy was great. Even Webby mentioned this in the post game. Our structured attack wasn't quite as polished as we'd like, but we took our opportunities and created that second phase play. So well done to the boys. Defensively, up around the 90% again, 87%. Like I mentioned a couple of weeks back, Matty John's talking about back, 10 years ago, 75%. You pretty much thought you're going to win a game. These days, you've got to complete close to 90 or above. So both teams right on 87% there. So very similar. I felt we started out, we had a lot of missed tackles in the first 20, but things really evened up there. So what do we have? We had 38 and they had 42. Ineffective tackles, 10 versus 9 is something that sort of we let a few more in than I would have liked, but with the way the game was flowing and the speed that you come in, a lot of times you'll bounce off and a little step can cause a tackle to be ineffective. Errors, just a 7 for both teams. It felt like they had more, but I'm really stoked that we're back down well into the single figures there, nothing like 14 or 15 we've had in recent weeks. No penalties conceded. I can't honestly ever remember a Warriors game where that was the case. I'm listening to Blake Ashford who's saying, things always tend to even out, and he's a bit worried that the ref might just start giving away service penalties to even things out, but he didn't. So well done to our boys on the discipline there. Maybe he's paying us back for some of the shit performances he's given us earlier on in the season. I don't know. Just the 2 ruck infringements and 1 inside the 10. So that's a massive step up, and that's when you start to be able to put on the pressure. When you can maintain that defensive effort and force them to keep, like we had, was it 3 or 4 sets in a row, force dropouts, getting them to have to fight off their own line, it ends up tiring them out, and not letting them off the hook with those bloody piggyback penalties. So it proves that our game plan works if we can execute it. And finally, before I get into the individuals, I wanted to share this from Teats NRL, a tweet he put out. I thought it was classic, breaking down the middle rotation. So we started out Bunty forward walks, then we went Jazz forward walks, then we went Jazz Alio walks, then we went Barney Bunty walks, Barney Bunty forward, Barney Jazz forward, and finally Jazz forward walks. Man, that's a very bloody confusing rotation. I think it worked. It showed we managed to maintain the middle even without AFB, but it took a little bit of imagination. So interesting to see Webby come up with that, and great to see the boys able to execute on it, having to change their roles so many times. Amongst that, I thought, actually all of our middles were absolutely outstanding. The effort, the precision, mate, having Maratania quarterback in there, his leg drivers, post-contact meters. But again, all of them, Tom Ale, stepped up, had a big improvement on his game last week, similar to the week before he'd had. Jazz continues to maintain his form. Ford looked at home in the middle. Jesus, that guy's a workhorse. And Dylan Walker continues to play on a crook ankle, and that boy's got a heart of gold. So I hope, he gets a bit of a break over this bye. And, if Tohu's back, I'd almost consider giving him an extra week off to see if he can let that settle, because it's going to be bloody tough for him to play a whole season on a really stuffed ankle. So to summarise as a team, I just thought we epitomised that. We played as a team. The boys all stepped up. They played together. And Webby talked about how they're all excited. We actually seemed to get more excited the more adversity they had during the week. They knew pretty early on that Rocco wouldn't play. He'd had surgery on his hand that hadn't healed as much, so it was a bit of a smokescreen. Chance pulled out about 11 o'clock in the morning of the game, so that's when all the shuffling happened. And then not long after that, Tane had to pull out. So Dallin got a phone call halfway through the day telling him he was playing at fullback, but the boys all just stepped up. And that's probably a reflection on how we train through the off-season, playing for every scenario you can imagine, but seamless. And to bring a guy like Graham Telfer into the team, who probably doesn't train with him a huge amount, fitted seamlessly in. Seeing Pompey go to the opposite side, seeing Montoya go to the opposite side, just shows the versatility. Paul Roach started out really well, crisp pass, then he has to go off, and Freddie Lussick just seamlessly fits in. So as a team, I'm massively proud, massively proud. I just wish I could have been there. I don't think you'll ever see a game like that again. Because I'd say the team coming up for the Cowboys after the bye will look very, very different with about 7 of our injured guys coming back. Righty ho, let's get on to the individuals. First up, fullback DWZ. Who saw that coming? But shit, didn't he play well? Very different style. I think he just focused on effort rather. He wasn't really involved in the creativity, but the speed that he hits that impact with absolutely no self-preservation whatsoever. I just love him. He gets bounced off every now and then and sat on his ass, but he gets up laughing and keeps going. Just one bugbear, man. I wish he'd stop faking those injuries, trying to get penalties. I'm not keen on the simulation, but 80 minutes, 22 runs, 205 metres, 52 post contact, a try, 5 tackle breaks, a line break, 2 offloads, just 1 tackle made and 2 missed, no errors. Outside back struggling a little bit with the defence in the weekend, but to be fair, they're coming up against some pretty fleet-footed opposition. So I'm going to go close to saying Dallimore was my man in the match. A lot of guys stepped up, but I just thought a guy playing out of position, we couldn't have asked more from him. Absolutely outstanding effort, brother. As always, he's always one of those guys, you see him out in the cold there well after the game, going around, taking photos, signing autographs. I love that about him. So he's a real club man. Well done, brother. Well done. And again, I'm not going to put scores out of 10 this time. I can't do it. They just all, they played with 100% heart. So for me, they're all 10 out of 10 this week. Montoya on the right wing, 80 minutes, 15 runs, 130 metres, down a little bit on what he's normally at. 29 post contact, but shit, he takes some hard hits. It's going to be really interesting to see what they do with RTS when he comes back. Montoya being dropped a couple of weeks back to make way for RTS moving to the wing. He's responded. I think he's really lifted his game. The energy he plays with, the hard he runs, he does. I know RTS might make more meters, but shit, how do you drop a guy when he's putting in this effort? One line break assist, 3 tackle breaks, a little bit down there. He's normally up around 5 or 6. 1 offload, 4 tackles, 3 missed, and 0 errors. Again, the outside back struggling a little bit, but again, can't fault him on the energy and effort. That's all I've ever asked from these boys. Well done playing out of position there. Next up, we have Adam Pompey at the right centre, showing his versatility. Great to see that he come. I actually thought that, from memory, that Milo Graham Tulpa was a right-hand centre himself, but obviously he's more comfortable on the left. Hence Pompey moving across there. 80 minutes, 9 runs, just 77 metres, but he sit in that line hard. 30 post-contact metres though, so close to half his metres post-contact, so showing that he's really getting that leg drive in. 4 from 4 conversions, turned out to be the difference. Clinical there. 1 line break, 14 tackles, just 1 miss for him, and no errors. Continues to step it up. What do we do at centre when everyone's back? Some serious conundrums. On that note, watch out for this one, guys. I'm going to do a bit of a review to see, who sort of shuffled around and maybe taken the lead as the best player in each position, seeing how many people we've got in each position, and maybe having a bit of a guess at what our lineup might look like when we come up against the Cowboys with the people returning back. So watch out for that this weekend. Milo Graham Tulpa, 80 minutes, 17 runs, 121 metres at centre, bloody good effort. 43 post-contact metres, 5 tackle breaks, 15 tackles, 5 misses. As I said, outside backs and no errors. I thought he really looked comfortable. He looked like a first grader. I feel like he's got probably the best acceleration out of all of our centres, to be honest. He's very quick over those first sort of 10 metres. There's a real point of difference. He hits him hard. He's not a huge guy, but if he ended up having to play every week, I don't think we lose much there. And I'll be really curious to see if he does manage to get himself back on the field this year. But more than capable. Unfortunately, if he doesn't, you may see that he ends up getting recruited by another club who needs a decent centre because he plays bloody well at centre and on the wing. So I hope we keep hold of him, but so much depth there. It's just, it's disappointing, I guess, for some of these guys to be, first grade quality, but just not able to get the regular footy with the competition. But still, young fella, looks a bit older than he is, but I believe he's about 24. Right, perfect debut on my book. Ed Cossey started out with a bit of a struggle there with the era, but coming back, 19 runs for 163 metres, big metres from the big bro there. 42 post-contact metres, 2 tackle breaks, 4 tackles, 3 missed, and a couple of errors. But I thought he held his own. I was a little bit worried. Well, I love him as a player. I'll say it again, I still would love to see him get turned into an impact edge back rower. The way he runs, I think he's the most destructive, I think, of the guys. If you were going to move someone into an edge to develop them there, I feel like he could be a great guy to come off the bench with 20 to go against a tired pack. But hey, that's a digression. But I thought he really stood up against the speed we had to compete with this week. Both of their wingers and their fullback got a lot of pace, but we managed to contain them and win the game. So big props to the big bro coming in at the last minute there. Really glad to see him out on the field. Chanel Harris-Davida, look, I got a lot of shit for this preseason. I always thought that he's probably my favourite option at 6 out of Tamati, Metcalf, and him, purely because I just love that left-footed kick, and I feel like he's got a great kicking game. He's got a little bit of X factor. He showed his speed there for the try he got, but I just always felt like he had the better all-round game. Tamati Martin has really stepped up at halfback over the past few weeks. Geez, I don't know. Then Metcalf, he's got the speed. So I've always really liked Chanel. And to step back in there and play 80 minutes off the back of very little opportunity this year through injury and uh, other guys getting the first start, I thought he was outstanding. Some of his kicks were absolutely brilliant. I just do like that, having that left foot kicking option. And I love the speed. Probably not, wasn't able to create as much as we've seen, with the likes of Chance last week when Tamati Martin's been there. But I just really like his all-round game. 7 runs, 75 metres, 19 post-contact metres, 9 kicks, 298 metres, which is the most we've seen from one of our 5'8s this year. I like that, sharing the kicking a lot more. 1 try, 2 tackle breaks, 1 offload, 22 tackles, 5 missed, but some big hits in there amongst that lot, and no errors. Really enjoyed him there. I think he'll be our utility off the bench going forward, as long as he stays fit. Once we get the likes of Egan and that back. Tough on Paul Roach, but genuine all-round class player, so happy to have him back. Tamati Martin, must go close, I guess, to man in the match. I really enjoyed him as well. Really stepping up and continues to develop. Couple of slight kicks off the side of the boot, but overall his kicking game was great again. 18 runs for 113 metres for a halfback's great. 14 kicks this week for 312 metres, so sharing the kicking duties, combined for about 600 metres between the two of them. He kicked for about 600 by himself last week. 2 forced dropouts. Was it 2 or 3 in a row? It says 2, but he got 3 in a row because he ended up going the third one short. Maybe someone else kicked it off. Can't remember. 1 try, 1 line break, 1 try assist, 5 tackle breaks, 1 offload, 20 tackles, 5 missed, and 1 error. Overall, I thought he was outstanding. The development in his 7 game compared to what we saw last year, I was shitting myself every time, SJ had a bit of a niggle. We saw how he really struggled towards the end there when SJ was out, and him and Dylan Walker played together in the house. Different guy this year. I'm more than comfortable with him, particularly coming up against most of the other teams who've lost their first choice halfbacks. How many are we missing at the moment? We've got Cleary, Hines with a niggle who may not end up playing Origin. We've got SJ out. We've got Reynolds out. Oh man, who'd want to be a 7 in the NRL at the moment? So yeah, really good game from him. Really proud of his effort. Just seems to be a real calm head. Bunty Afoa, 34 minutes, 9 runs, 84 metres, 35 post-contact, bro. That's good to see. One of his back fence runs off the kickoff was absolutely outstanding. Got all the way over past the 20. 3 tackle breaks, 19 tackles, 2 missed and 1 error. Now I still see people bagging him because he just, that knock on, bro. But you can just see his big body and what he can do on defense. You hear the commentators rate him. It still astonishes me that he doesn't break more tackles and doesn't make more post-contact meters at 114 kg at the speed he hits. If he could just get that little swerve or step at the line, I think he'd be deadly. But definitely filled a hole without AFB there, so well done, brother. Good effort. Paul Roach, I feel sorry for him. He started, as I said, really well as crisp passing. He was really good on defense. But just 10 minutes, one run, 6 meters, 7 tackles, no miss, no errors, ankle. They sort of said that he may come back on at some stages, but he didn't. And unfortunately, does he get another shot in the near future? I really wanted to see him get a good 80 minutes or 70 odd minutes there to really show us that he's got the class to deliver every week at the level we saw against the Panthers. Unlucky, brother. I really do hope you get another chance. Get well soon. Marata Niakore playing a good percentage of his time at prop, but also rotating onto an edge. Shitty was impactful, his running, his defense, his aggression. He's not the biggest prop in the world. He's actually quite similar size to James Fisher-Harris, who actually looks way bigger on TV than he actually is. That said, that I know the stats as far as height and weight goes are often bullshit on the club pages, but Shitty's just a huge body, a huge engine to have out there. 98 or 11 runs for 98 metres, half of those post contact, 43. One try, a line break, 4 tackle breaks, 16 tackle breaks, one missed tackle, and an error. On a side note, that reminds me, Wednesday last week, fuck it, I'm going to put on a multi before I head to Japan. Warriors to win, they were paying about $2.50. Jermaine Isako and Hammer and Marata, all three to score any time. Came in, baby, but I can't remember how much I put on it, and I can't see how much I won because I can't log into my bloody TAB account over here, geo-blocked. But something to look forward to when I go home. I hope I accidentally push $50 instead of 5 or 10. Awesome. Hope he stays fit. He's going to be a real difference maker for us. More than comfortable at prop. Great on an edge. He's back. Jackson Ford, 80 minutes, 12 runs, 107 metres, 49 post contact metres, almost half of his metres post contact, 2 tackle breaks, 48 tackles, none missed. A couple of ineffective tackles, but I don't really count those because, it's various reasons why it happens, but out and out misses, none. 48 and none. And people still question. They reckon drop him. One error. I'm not putting that down on him either. It was just Dylan Walker, a little bit of fatigue throwing it behind his shoulder. So just out and out, an absolute beast. Great to see him be able to play in the middle. So versatile. Should I say he's a guy who'll go close to playing Origin in a couple of years if he continues this development up? Outstanding. Mitch Barnett, lethal. Shit. Another one close to man of the match for me. No disrespect to Tohu, I love the brother, but I love Mitch Barnett as captain. Not only does he lead from the front, he's a big talker. You could see him in all of the huddles. He was the one doing the talking. Listening to him talk in the post match, he doesn't seem all that comfortable talking on camera, which Tohu is pretty natural. He's quite cute actually, the way him and Webby have their laughs. But on the field, this guy's got the big voice. He's the one who gets the guys fired up, and I feel like you need that in a captain. And it would almost be good to sort of, they're not going to do it, and it would be disrespectful. But to give Tohu a break, not have to deal with that, focus on his own game. I think Mitch would be a great captain going forward if he stays. And after Tohu's gone, beast. 20 runs, 187 meters, 74 post contact, a line break, 4 tackle breaks, 1 offload, 24 tackles, 3 missed, no errors. Bro, what a beast. I think that doesn't even reflect the impact he had on the game. Oh, shit, it's so hard to compare a fullback or a halfback or whatever, but equal man of the match for me. I don't think we win without him. He's going to be a huge loss when he goes into Origin camp, but shit, he'll come back a better player for it. So massive congratulations to him. 20th man at the moment. Someone's going down during the campaign, so I'm sure he'll get his shot. You can see how proud he was. I just love Webby's little announcement there for the team that Cam George said. Was it Marata's? Marata. What did he say? And just finally, Mitch is a fucking Origin player or something to that effect, and the boys just went nuts. You can see he's a massive part of that team. Well done, brother. Dylan Walker, huge again, 68 minutes, 18 runs, 120 metres, 38 metres post contact, 1 offload, 35 tackles and unmissed, a couple of ineffective, 1 error. Oh, bro, so damn hardy playing off that ankle. You just see him every game. He gets smoked again, and he just looks like he's not going to be able to get up. But he just gets up and keeps going. The speed, the energy, the enthusiasm he does everything with. I think he starts to play bigger minutes. We see Tohu playing in the bit a little bit more in the middle, not having to play 80 minutes going forward. Just outstanding. Really, really stoked to have him develop during this period, because a lot of times last year, like I said, we'd shit ourselves if Tohu was out, but I haven't felt like we've taken a drop. Well done. Jazz Tavanga, another outstanding effort. 46 minutes, 14 runs, 116 metres off the bench. Not that many of the opposition props are getting that much meterage off the bench for a similar amount of minutes. 42 post contact, 3 tackle breaks, 1 offload, 26 tackles, 2 missed. But when you fly up with the speed he does, trying to turn the momentum, you're going to bounce off a couple and you're going to miss a couple. And I'm not going to count that error because it was stripped, so fucking clearly stripped. That's twice now. Cook stripped one off him against South, said he got called for an error. And this one as well, because we didn't have our bloody captain's challenge. Oh, hearty effort. Hope he keeps fit, and I hope we re-sign him, because he's just the ideal bench player. Him and Maracha and Dylan Walker coming off the bench in the middle. So much energy. Jacob Laban, interesting. 30 minutes from him. Just 3 runs for 18 minutes, 7 post contact, 1 tackle break, but 1 offload. He seems to like an offload, 17 tackles with 1 miss. I didn't even notice him out there a lot of the time because he wasn't running, but he's a big presence on defense. But I love how he really likes to try and stick a shoulder and make, particularly if guys have already been stopped, he'll come in and he'll just nail them. So seeing more aggression from him, you can just see the confidence is growing, that, as he fills out in his body and as he starts to build a bigger engine, he's going to be an absolute beast going forward for us for a very long time. So I hope we keep him. Keep up the hard work, bro. He may lose his spot for a few weeks coming up if these guys all come back. He'll just be like a man amongst kids when he goes back to Cup after playing at this level. So outstanding. Tom Ali, as I said, massive effort from him again. Matt Fend, man, he put some fends on. Put Katoa on his ass a couple of times. Just 19 minutes, though. It's interesting he's only been used just under 20 minutes a game. It's great, though, because he can just play with 100% all-out energy. 13 runs, 89 metres, but they were hard-fought metres. 34 metres post-contact, 1 offload, 6 tackles, no missed and no errors. Hearty. Great guy to have on the bench. I'm really curious to see when Zion gets more minutes in first grade and how you sort of rate these two. I'd love to know how Webby compares them. I feel like one of the benefits, like I've said recently, is I think if you had to, you could play Tom for 60 minutes. You'd have the motor for it. But I'm not sure if Zion could do a big stint like that if we had the injuries. That's the only thing I can think of that's holding him back from getting these bench spots at the moment, but he'll get a shot. And finally, Freddie Lussick, 70 minutes, 3 runs for 33 metres, 11 post contact, 1 try assist, 1 line break assist, 45 tackles, 1 miss, and no errors. I heard Blocker mention this, and it does stand out to me. I don't normally listen to Blocker. He's a smart football brain, as annoying as he is, but talking about how Freddie picks the ball up and then passes it, whereas Roach, being an ex-Union player, just passes straight off the deck. That's one of the things I think we lose, that fraction of a second by him doing that, which is one of the reasons we don't get the same momentum as when we have Egan there, who's got a great pass off the ground. If he can sort that, like the effort on defense. Had a mate texting me saying that his defense is utter shit. 45 tackles and 1 miss. I'm not going to criticize that, but he's really going to have to step up his distribution, because Paul Roach is stepping up as a genuine contender. And when it comes to the bench role, I still think Chanel probably pips him because of his versatility. That said, great effort, brother. It's just to know that you've got those 2 or 3 guys who are first grade ready to come in and do a job, and we win with them there. What more could you want? Well done. So to summarize all this, man, I'm just so happy. I'm so proud. As Webby said, going into the bye off the back of a couple of such hardy wins that a lot of people didn't expect. Even some hardy Warriors fans I know picked against them this week. I was less confident last week. I just having heard from a couple of the players how fired up they were. I thought we were a genuine chance against the Panthers just based on that. But in my heart, I don't know. But this week, I just knew we were going to win. So stoked. Thanks, everyone, across all my platforms, like the comments, the DMs. It's taken me so long to get through it. I apologize that I can't reply to them all anymore. There's just literally so many, which is a great thing to have. But you guys take the time to watch, you take the time to like, and particularly those people who take the time to comment. I appreciate you so much. I'll always try and reply back, particularly here on YouTube, because this is where it all kind of really started out. But yeah, so much love for you all. To be part of a club and with the fans like you guys, what more could people want in life? It's so much fun. Enjoy the bye. I hate the bye in that, there's no real footy for us this weekend, but I think the boys really need it. There's some broken bodies out there. We'll come back refreshed. We'll be ready to go. And like I said, there should be about 7 guys. Rocco Berry, Sean Johnson, Tohu Harris, Wade Egan will all likely be back after the break. Adam Whanua Blake will definitely be back. So some genuine selection headaches coming up for Webby. What do you do with these guys who've stepped up so well? Who's playing in the halves? Who's going to be on our bench rotation in the forwards? RTS comes back. How does he fit in? Where does he fit in? Who do you drop to make space for him? They will, but Tane Tuolpiki if Chance ends up going back to fullback. So many tough decisions, but that's what it takes to win a comp. Finally, thank you all for subscribing. To get over that 2K mark in the past couple of weeks is just a goal that I've had for ages. It took me a full year to get to 1,000, but charging up now to about 2,200. You guys make it all worth it. That's why I do it. Otherwise, I'll just be sitting here talking to myself. Love you all. Go the Mighty Wars. Enjoy the break.